Do you have anything that's off limits?
Not really, no. I'm going to try to not put anybody on blast that I'm trying to sleep with now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because, before that, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not try to strip myself from the food before we actually,
Yeah.
How
many people are you trying to have sex with right now?
I mean, actively.
400. Welcome to the show. Today, we have sensational lesbian superstar, Lena, founder of Likewildfire, a fantastic brand that you guys probably can't get, but is amazing out there, and you should definitely look up. We are so excited to have you here for your mouth.
That's what she said.
Speaking of your mouth, I detect an accent.
I'm Russian.
I knew it.
I'm from Estonia originally, but I'm Russian by nationality. And it's funny because it's about 50-50 split between people that can pick up my accent, and the other 50 think that I'm either somewhere between California and New York.
At first, I thought it was maybe Mexican.
Chigabichola.
Well, when I moved to U.S.
From Russia?
From Estonia.
At what age?
14.
Oh my gosh, that's a tough age.
It was a hot mess. I lived in San Diego. I didn't speak good English, but the only friends that I had, they were all Mexican, and they were all so nice and so welcoming and so warm. So I wanted to assimilate with them, so I started mimicking their accent. So I started speaking with a Spanish accent in English. They used to call me La Rusa, which was really funny because at some point I look back at my star shots and I was like, girl, those are some thin ass eyebrows. You had no business looking like that.
If you go to prison, you'll be safe.
I watched a lot of prison shows. I feel like I got a good grip on what's going on.
Yeah.
Been taking notes because you never know.
You don't ever know.
One day you're sitting here doing a podcast, next day
You're in prison.
But I just have to go to prison. Whatever prison doesn't have the orange jumpsuits because it would clash with my hair and I think that would be a terrible look.
But I think you could pull it off if anybody could.
I mean, Arizona has pink ones, right?
That'd be the look.
They do. They used to.
What shade of pink?
It's like Pepto-Bismol. It's not right.
I could make that work.
You could.
Pepto?
Like Pepto, like
Like a baby pink.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Anyways.
So you moved from Estonia to San Diego.
Yeah, this was my trajectory. I came from Estonia to San Diego. Then from San Diego, I moved to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I moved back to San Diego, then Long Beach, and then I moved to L.A.
Did you move here to Los Angeles pre or post the real L word?
So it was before I moved here. However, when I came back from DC, I met a bunch of girls from LA and started coming to LA and dating one of them.
You dated a girl from the real L word.
She was the roommate of one of the main characters of either first or second season. I actually didn't watch much of the show, but I became friends with a lot of girls from it.
So you really...
So I was in one episode when I ended up coming to visit and I got dropped off. They had me sign the release form because I was staying at the house they were filming at.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you've been in it.
Yeah, somebody sent me a screenshot of it or a picture of a TV. And it's just me, I had this really crazy bleach blonde hair and I'm eating pizza. So that was my shining moment on the show.
Okay.
But otherwise, a lot of my friends have been on it. I haven't watched much of it just because the people that I got close with, I didn't particularly want to watch them fuck each other.
I missed it.
There was a lot of sex on the show.
It was definitely a phenomenon. Everybody was obsessed with the show. If you just went to a bar and you were with them and they were filming, people were just going nuts. It was really interesting to watch, but it was definitely cumbersome because when we'd go out, I remember I was having an event in San Diego. I used to throw parties and go dance and do all the lesbian stuff. So they came to visit and they were filming at my party. So we had to they had to film us walking into a bar 6 times, from each direction.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So at some point you're okay, can we move on with this? So it was I'm ready to be inside the bar.
Yeah.
Would love a drink. But yeah, that was very, very interesting because that was my first true exposure to Los Angeles is that when I started visiting and then I just kind of got thrown into this whole thing.
You were thrown into lesbian stardom.
Yeah. And I mean, and just
That's a lesbian.
That was just by association because I had nothing to do with the show, but you know what I mean? It was so interesting to watch that from a spectator's perspective of actually being there versus watching it on TV.
Right.
Wow.
So you just would walk in and get lesbian VIP wherever you went and vagina thrown at you like it was nothing. And
I mean,
and
not
they were like, Lena, the magical, we wish to mate with you.
It's the lesbian.
It's a lesbian.
So, I mean, I was just kind of hanging out. Last thing I wanted is to be on TV doing all of that
I see.
because that was a little bit much. And I was like, I like to do, my suspicious activity in the shadows. Like, I don't need that to be on TV.
You're private with your stuff.
Yeah, like to an extent. But the girl that I was dating too, it just did not end well because it was casual. And then I came to a party with someone else and she was there. Then she tried to kick me out. And one of the main characters on the show, she didn't let her kick me out of the party. And that's how her and I became friends.
Wow.
Yeah, that she was like, you're not going to kick her out. And I was
Wow.
like, thanks. But yeah, it's just so I feel like sometimes you just realize there's like in some women's eyes, there's no such thing as casual because in the end, like no matter how many times you have a conversation about it, it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
But like if we have a conversation, I have certain expectations set from it. So if, we're casual and like we're cool, then like don't act like we're not when I'm with somebody else.
So people would classify you, some people, as
Who are those people? Name them.
I don't know.
Name them. I
As-
want names.
Oh no.
off with their heads.
Yeah.
But some people would maybe classify you, I'm asking you, as cold.
I've had a lot of people classify me as a lot of different things.
Like what?
Like I would say sarcastic, maybe unapproachable. But then again, that always comes from people that like I've never actually spent much time with. I feel like that's them projecting their insecurities upon me. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
Other people's opinions of you are literally none of your business.
That's so good. I need to like remember that.
Write it down.
Sometimes I just worry about like what I say or like, judgment and stuff. So it's very refreshing to hear.
Your extensions.
My extensions, anything.
I used to be really, really self-conscious about like, oh, what are people saying about me? What are they thinking?
Sure.
And I remember there was a point in my life, I moved back to San Diego. I was go-go dancing and I was like, maybe like I'm not a good dancer. Maybe I'm just like, I don't look so as hot as I wanted to be. And these girls came in and they were like pointing. And at first I was like, that sucks. But then I realized like these women came in to the bar that I'm working at. So they paid the cover. So you're literally paying to be here to be mad at me.
I love
So,
that.
like-
You're right.
Does that affect me in any way? It doesn't. And after that, it does not bother me. Like how people feel about me, unless it's like people that are actually know me, they're close with me.
Sure.
But people I don't have a relationship with, like, I'll never know.
It's like earned when they're your friends
Exactly.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my question to you. What would you say the difference is between a San Diego lesbian and an LA lesbian?
Oh boy, I'm gonna get beat up for this question.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
So it's really funny. There's a really huge distinction. And I think the differences between San Diego and LA they've shifted since I have lived here. Because San Diego used to be like the mecca of like the sportsbian.
Which is what?
Long hair, play sport, like kind of feminine, but still like kind of tomboy.
Okay.
Field hockey.
Do you do sports?
Not anymore. I used to play varsity tennis and I played basketball. I traveled all over Europe when I was younger.
Wow.
But now I'll go to like a sports event to drink like an alcoholic beverage and like, hang out. But unless I'm getting a prize at the end that I care about, I don't see the point of competing in something because I don't see like there being like a reward. You know
Would
what I
you
mean?
do it if the reward was pussy?
I don't know. That seems like a lot of running for pussy. Okay. I feel like there are better ways.
There are.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, so I feel like San Diego is just a little bit more of like a chill vibe, sportsbians type of women. And LA, when I just moved here, I feel like this was the golden age of lesbians. Like all the lesbians were really hot. They all had like sexy jobs.
They had jobs?
Back then they did. I don't know what happened now, but it seems like everyone's just traveling, but no one is employed. And it's like, who's paying for this?
That's what I
Tag
want
your
to know.
sponsor. Tag your sponsor. I want to know because I want to apply.
Me too.
And women in San Diego, they're employed, like gainfully employed. Like they have 9-to-5s. And like
Oh.
I can tell you what they do for a living. Here, I have absolutely no clue.
Yeah.
And, so I feel like LA women are questionable employment, definitely an edgy style, but also like they're more adventurous here. They're like, I feel like San Diego's a little bit of like a safer vibe. And I mean, the women have changed a lot over the years in LA. But the difference is really big. And usually San Diego lesbians don't like to come to LA, and LA lesbians, like they'll come to San Diego like they're going to a zoo. And then they'll come back here.
Can I hear more about the go-go dancing? Do you still do it? Is that like what you're into still?
No, that was so long ago. So when I moved to DC, I moved there with my first girlfriend.
Okay, I was gonna ask also why you moved there.
My coming out story was a little bit wild.
Please.
I came out of the closet on accident with like 4 strippers, and they were all girls of the year. I used to be a cocktail waitress at this like all nude strip club, and it was like they didn't even serve alcohol, but every year like their entire umbrella of like strip clubs basically had a one big like party at a resort that they rented out, and everybody was like naked and running around and drinking whatever. I was like 18, 19 at that time. So this girl walks up to me and she was like, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend for tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Yes, I do.
for sure." And I'm like, at that point,
Sign
like,
me up.
I've never even been with a girl, but I was like kind of like thinking about it.
Yeah.
So we ended up, like, she brought me in the room with 2 other girls who were already having sex. And then there was like one other girl. And then we all just had like a situation.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
So we basically had a, what is it, 4, 5, 5-some?
Ooh,
You had a gangbang.
gangbang orgy.
Yeah, you had an orgy.
Yeah, so we had an orgy. And
That
then we're
evening?
like immediately after.
This is the qualifications for being my girlfriend. You must engage in this
she
orgy.
grabbed my hand and she goes, "Let's go." And we went immediately.
Oh, she led you to the orgy.
She was like, "Hello, would you like to be my girlfriend?" And then we went directly into the orgy. It wasn't like, there wasn't like a time where we like got to know each other. Like there wasn't any of that. I was like, "Cool, let's go."
And was this because you said you were like, I was thinking about women, whatever, I hadn't jumped into it. Was this your first experience?
Well, I had a boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
And I asked him if it's cool if I had sex with a girl. And he said, yeah. I just didn't know he meant that he wanted to be there for it. So I just kind of like, I decided to take it upon myself and like, you know, then be proactive about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I did it all on my own. Like you didn't even have to be there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, he was super relieved about that. So we had relations.
Love that you just dove in the deep end.
The opportunity presents itself, like you can't say no. And like one of them was like, they were like, some of them were like calendar girls of the year. One of them could fit herself into a freezer. Like, I mean, I was like, I wasn't gonna say no to that.
For the plot, dude. For the plot.
We
For
gotta
the
do it for the plot.
After that night, did you go home and you were like, that was my everything?
I realized that like this is like what I've been wanting, an orgy.
Not even just girls. You're like,
Orgies.
orgies.
An orgy with really hot girls of the year. So even so the standards were really high right away. But I came back and then I like, you know, I worked at Starbucks at the time. So I was like, had work the next morning at like 4 a.m. So I was like violently throwing up at work and crying into a trash can. But I was like, it was worth it.
Of course.
And then I had to tell my boyfriend and he was just not super stoked about it.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I get it. He still goes on my Instagram sometimes. He has like a full house of children now. But like he like liked one of my photos from like years ago.
He'll never forget.
And I think like his friends also won't let him forget because like the whole Russian community is just like already not super gay friendly.
Oh, this is another Russian guy.
Yeah.
So it was Russian on Russian love.
Yeah. It was a Russian on Russian crime.
Yeah.
So, you know, after that, we broke up. Needless to say, I got my first girlfriend from the internet.
What app? What internet? Like
Plenty of Fish or
I was
some
gonna
shit.
say, was it
Yeah,
Plenty of
I think it was
Fish?
Plenty of Fish. And like, I just think about her style now and it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. She like layered the polos from Abercrombie. Like there was like maybe like 3 of them at a time with like pop collars. And like now I look at her and I'm just like,
What have I done? Yeah.
I can never undo this.
this is San Diego.
I met her in San Diego, but she was from Pennsylvania originally. Actually, she was from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I never thought I would ever go to Scranton, Pennsylvania, but I went there.
Were there a lot of sorry, off topic?
No, please.
Were there a lot of Amish?
There were.
So sorry.
There were. That's when the first time I saw the buggy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like over there, it's like a whole thing. Like you'll go to Amish farms and buy like the products that they make.
But your girlfriend was not Amish.
No.
That'd be even hotter though. That'd be hotter.
I don't know if I'd be into Amish. Like I don't think that's my kink.
But I love the plot of that. Like, yeah, she left the community. She came to San Diego, became a
Was it
lesbian.
Rumspringa? Speaking of, well, now that we're on the Amish topic,
sorry.
Have you ever watched the reality shows
Yes.
about the Amish?
Breaking Amish. I've seen it.
And have you heard about soaking?
Yes. No, that's Mormonism.
Oh, it's Mormons?
It's Mormons, yeah.
Okay, so not Amish.
No, it's Mormons.
Bingham Young University, soaking.
It's a favorite topic, actually, of this podcast.
Man, that's wild.
Would you engage in something like that?
If I was a Mormon, yeah.
I feel like now us refined adults would call it edging.
Us refined adults would call it edging.
I would do that. If I was a Mormon, you already know I'm soaking. I'm soaking all day, dude.
I'm the jump humper.
Yeah.
I'm the jump
Oh,
humper.
yeah, you are.
I think I probably would also want to do the jumping.
Yeah, I want to jump.
I want to receive.
Did we get it? Did we get
Yeah,
it?
are we there yet?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Are we there as a community?
But I want it to be an all lesbian orgy where
Yeah.
it's like soaking but with a strap, a 2024 lesbian version.
You know what we should do? We should go to the Bingham Young University and you should start talking about this. I'm sure that it could get some minds going.
A new class.
A new class.
A new class.
Yeah, they could sign a waiver. It's like learning.
Soaking 101.
Oh, perfect.
Soaking 101, lesbian style.
Change some lives.
We could take it to the TED Talks, to masterclass. It could go global
Masterclass for sure.
with both of our mouths. Anything is possible.
I love it.
Any other questions about the go-go?
We actually never got there.
I got excited about the Amish. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. We went Amish. Sorry. Let's go back to go-go. Let's finish it.
Sorry.
It was just really per chance. So I moved to DC to be with my ex-girlfriend, who then cheated on me while I was driving there to be with her. And so I came back and I was like, I need all of the lesbian activities because that was terrible. So then I moved back to San Diego and I was like, I want to do all of the lesbian things because I feel like I've been deprived. I was like on the East Coast, DC is just like no one's hot.
Shout out to DC.
Wasn't my jam. So I lived in San Diego. I was like, I want to go dance. And this girl that I just became really close friends with, she was like, go ahead, be here at this time. I'm like, that's it? Yeah, and I did that for 3-4 years, and it was really, really fun. And it was just because I wanted to be the center of lesbian attention at the time. You know what I mean? I wanted that validation that I just never got in that shitty ass relationship that I got into right when I came out, basically.
Yeah.
But I did get what I wanted out of it. I got to work all of the fun parties. I got to go out for free, drink for free, hang out with the hottest bitches. It was so much fucking fun.
Were there orgies that were provided from this?
You know what? The thing is with lesbians, lesbians aren't that sexually experimental as let's say a straight girl that decided that she was going to be a part of a lesbian orgy for the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So they weren't.
I don't know what it is either.
I don't know. Well, unfortunately, there weren't as many orgies as I would have hoped. But I mean, there were good times for sure. So no regrets.
That's so cool. Do you still go dance?
I don't go dance. I love dancing. I've always loved dancing. So sometimes you'll see me dancing on a table or on a bar, or anywhere that there is
An elevated space.
an
Yeah.
elevated space. I'm like, me as a Leo, let's go. But I'm doing it for free now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just for the love of the game.
It's just for the love of the game. But I mean, as a Leo, I do still find ways to
Get attention.
and sometimes you just need a little bit of validation. You're feeling a little off, I need somebody to hype me up a little bit.
You're real for that because there's so many people that are like, I don't care what other people think and validation this, I don't really care. I like validation myself too.
Yeah,
I think
sometimes you
we
need it.
all do.
Everybody needs it.
Yeah. And people are so coy or well, I don't need validation like that. We all I'm sorry, but getting a compliment sometimes is so nice.
Fuck
and
yeah.
I'm into it.
I try to be a little bit more transparent with my needs and who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And I know there's times where okay, I'm going to dress snatched because I'm going to go collect serotonin via compliments. I'm going to walk around, be like, oh, I'm sorry, what did you say about my outfit? Let me walk by again. Tell me more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes we just need that. And
get
that's okay. It's okay to feel to want to feel validated.
Absolutely.
And I feel a lot of people are somehow ashamed
Yes.
to say that. And I feel we're all human and we just all sometimes want to be validated and made feel good about our outfit. Or sometimes we just have a shitty week and we're just I just need to feel better.
I get it. I totally get it.
As somebody that presents like me out in the world, I don't get that many compliments because I don't know, lesbians just don't, I think, compliment mass presenting people all that often.
I have noticed that. I
It's
feel like
crazy,
It
and-
might be
and-
intimidation too.
Maybe it could be, but like I don't get that, and I'm like, give it to me. Tell me I look good. Tell me you want to.
Tippy, you are hot. Everyone knows you're hot.
Okay, but maybe it's that sentiment where they're like, oh, you must know that. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you, or I'm not going to feed your ego or whatever. But then really it just leaves an environment where I don't hear it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, especially if you're looking for compliments from a lot of the femmes, I feel like sometimes they assume these heteronormative gender roles where
Yeah.
a man should be complimenting a woman, and which is, I mean, it's stupid and archaic. So I feel like this is why I don't date true like pillow princess femmes like often, and like because usually they have that understanding of they like want to be taken care of. They always kind of want you to pick up the slack. They don't give you compliments as much. It just kind of comes with that territory. But when you're with somebody who is, I feel like, has a strong personality and kind of is sure of themselves, I feel like you'll get a little bit more of what you're looking for from them.
So what type do you date?
I'm attracted to a lot of different types. Like I've dated some women more feminine presenting, some a little bit more masculine. I never go full butch usually. But I've dated some girls with short hair, etc. I mean, I don't discriminate. I like them all. But they need to have a personality to go with it. And I'm normally, because I can be attracted to somebody, like let's say dating apps is a perfect example. You see somebody, you're attracted to them online, you meet them, and like there's a million things why I wouldn't hit that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
personality is such a big seller for me. Like
Yeah.
I've been in like situations before where I've met people, I'm like, wow, like your personality is trash. I can't do this. I can find them really hot in person even. If then the personality turns me off, like I can't fuck them.
You can't do it for just one night.
I tried, but I was like, I fucking can't stand you. Like, you know what I mean? I can't even hate fuck you because you annoy me so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you never fucked like an enemy.
Well, it's different.
So what you're saying is you have fucked an enemy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we became friends.
Okay.
Oh my God, how cool.
You know, so I mean, sometimes you just gotta like hate fuck it out.
And then just get to friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta get it out of your system. That's a completely different situation. Like that's not an ick.
What's an ick of yours?
Okay,
Let's
so
talk icks.
when I
Yeah.
got back on the apps, I've been in back-to-back long-term relationships for like almost 8 years. So then I've been single for a year now. I got out and I was like, these apps don't even look the same. I don't even know what the fuck to do. Now you have to pay for all the apps for people to like, it used to be you swipe and then if somebody swipes on you, you match. And now
Sure.
it's like, do you want to pay to swipe or like do whatever? It's just too much.
Yeah.
Like everybody's doing the most. And now there's 700 different apps.
Yeah,
But
there's
they're
a
all
lot.
owned by the same people probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
are,
probably
To
Totally
make you
right.
to give you the illusion of options, but it's just a different interface.
Yeah.
So I like started talking to a couple of these girls. One of them, so it was like my first time meeting somebody from the app. So we meet at a bar by my house.
And you bring them strategically to a bar by your house because
I'm out.
that's where you're by. You're like, I'm out.
I'm out.
Okay.
Or we'll go to my house.
Okay, got it.
So-
got it. But first is I'm out.
We meet. She walks in and I immediately was like, no. She was really hot in photos. And like then afterwards, I was trying to dissect and I'm like, what was it about her? But like she was a comedian and she was a working stand-up comedian.
Oh my God, I've heard horror stories about dating a comedian.
Exactly. And we were sitting there and she couldn't look directly at me. Like she was looking everywhere but at me. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
I'm literally right here. Then she was aggressively trying to go home with me. And she was like, come on, let's go to your house. I'm like, I just moved in there. I
No.
had just come back from a festival. We are not going to my house. It's just not happening. And the thing is, when I go on a date with somebody, I like to plan. Like I'm a planner. I take charge usually.
Love that.
So it's like a 2-part thing. So we go to place one, and if things go well, then we'll go out for the night. Like we'll go dance and like
You have to
it's like,
pass the test.
Yeah.
we can do something else if we like each other and you think I'm as charming and hilarious in person as I am online.
I love this.
We can move to the next step.
Right.
So there was not going to be a next step there. And I had made a mistake of telling her that there was a step 2.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
But then I was like, I cannot spend one more second with that woman. Like she is she is exhausting me. Everything about her, her mannerisms, like her lack of self-confidence, and the fact that like she was so witty and so funny via text message, but in person, it's like I haven't laughed one time. And you're also not looking at me. Who are you here on a date with?
Yeah.
I know what happened because I've done this for my friends actually, where I have to text for them to get the date. And I'm there texting the individual.
But who's going to do that for you when you're in person?
So that's the problem. And this is what we found is that when they go on the date, it's all bad because, you know, they want me, but they got them.
How funny.
Well, you set yourself up like that then. I mean, you know what I mean? Like if I'm texting for you, then what are you gonna do afterwards? Go with an earpiece?
What do you mean? Seal the deal.
Yeah, step up.
But that's
Like,
what I'm
come
saying. You
on.
should just be yourself in the beginning because like you're not gonna step in.
They're not going to get the date if they,
I know some of them won't.
trust me.
But this was the first date that I went on after being in the relationship, like in back-to-back long-term relationships for almost 8 years.
I would be frozen.
I
yeah.
am fucking traumatized. I cannot fucking do this.
I don't want to do that again.
I was like, is this what dating is like now?
I've heard dating comedians like that they're so funny, exactly what you said, like via text, because it's like a job for them, right?
Yeah.
And like trying to talk to them when you're on like a dating level and you're alone, it's like they think everything is like a show. It sounds like the lines are like rehearsed or they make a joke out of everything, and it's just like gross.
She didn't even try to make a joke. It was just like, I don't know. I just would not have imagined that this person goes up on stage and makes people laugh.
Maybe she doesn't.
I would die to see her live. I like just have to know.
Well, she works. She's like a regular at one of the local comedy clubs
Stop it. I've seen her.
on Sunset.
I go often.
You probably have seen her. I
Yeah.
will tell you her name after
Yeah,
the show.
tell me later. I'm going to go spy.
Well, offline about it. She's a lesbian though.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you date bisexuals?
I don't want to say like I'm against dating bisexuals, but there's a lot of bi women that like to fuck women but aren't down for a relationship. You know what I mean? So if it's somebody who's truly like, and I feel like honestly, like there's so many terms now, and I feel like being pansexual would like I think better describe somebody who is willing to be romantically involved with both sexes. That makes a little
Okay.
bit more sense. But I feel like we're inching towards all of us being a little bit more fluid and
Yeah.
a little bit less term abiding.
Sure.
The further that we go into the future, because I feel like the terms were so rigid before and everybody was kind of falling into different categories. I think we're all a little bit more fluid now in our sexualities and a little bit more comfortable with sex in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you know the funny thing is I decided to find out what my body count was.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was going to do that at work, and I started writing the names down. I remember it was years ago. I dropped the list on the floor and my boss found it. He was like, what are those? I'm like, oh, I don't know, not mine. So I decided to do it again and actually like try to remember everybody. But now I keep like a running digital list instead of writing them on a piece of paper so I could actually keep a running tally because like I want to know.
Now it's on the cloud.
Now it's in the cloud.
Your notes app?
I realize now you can lock your notes.
You can lock your notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I realized I'm not just going to keep my nudes in my, in my photo folder. You can copy the photo, paste it in your notes, and then lock those notes. So you have a locked folder with your nudes.
I never thought of that.
And you can have a different password than your phone.
This is incredible because you know what often happens to me is that I'll get into new relationships and then they'll be like, what's in the, what's in the, what's in the private, and I have lost so much good content that I am
Exactly.
upset about after that relationship ends. And I'm like, where are those tapes?
Yeah.
So the best thing is you can name it whatever, right? So you can just say like, I don't know, groceries from Trader Joe's. And then you're the only person who'll be able to get into it and see that it's actually a bunch of nudes.
But don't you think that whoever you're dating would be smart enough
No.
to be like, why is grocery Tuesday shopping list locked?
Why are you in my notes in the first place?
Yeah, they won't click it.
I don't think you'd even get this far to go through my notes. However, stop giving them tips.
Yeah.
Some things are sacred and private.
Yeah, absolutely. I think nobody should be going through your phone at all, especially
I mean,
yours.
It's especially mine.
Especially yours.
The life that I live, no one needs to be on my phone. But also, it's like my nudes. You know what I mean? Like, I want to also be able to find them all in the same place. And I also don't want other people to be able to find them. Because, some nudes are worth keeping. It's like, maybe like 20 years from now, I'm like, damn, that was fire nudes.
Do you go leg open nude or are you just like a leg close kind of nude gal?
Like,
Because I had an incident where a friend of mine accidentally posted something on Instagram.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding. And she called me like almost in tears, but also laughing. And she was like, I posted a nude to Instagram. It wasn't like close friends. It was like really on the story. I
Okay.
was trying to like send it to a guy or whatever. and I go, it's not that bad, dude. It's not that bad. She sends me the photograph after it was deleted. It was.
It was that bad?
It was
Spread eagle.
it was a direct shot. I mean, open. I had not seen a nude like that in all of my history of nudes.
I think I do like tasteful nudes, like a lot of suggestive like positions going
Sure.
on. But there was a time where my friend gave me an Ambien.
Okay.
And I was talking to this girl. And, instead of like giving into the Ambien and going to sleep like a normal person, I decided that I was going to text her and see what she was doing at like 3:00 in the morning.
It seems logical.
I did not remember any of the shit that I said to her. And the photos that I took were absolutely brand new. And the positions that I was in, and I was like, girl, what the fuck was that? And I mean, they weren't bad, but I was like, you're just out there.
Were you incorporating props, things that you had never brought into the frame, like a plant, maybe something like with life or something?
There weren't props, but like, I mean, I was doing gymnastics.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, you can't unsend that. And I mean, she seemed to have enjoyed it. But it was also like, I've never sent her a nude before. And then I just sent her like 6.
Now you have a high bar that you're holding.
Where do you go from there?
Honestly, I only regret it if they didn't reciprocate. But she did.
That's good.
So actually, that worked out in my favor.
At 6 a.m.
She was up responding to, we were having a conversation like that. I don't know who was having that conversation, but it wasn't me. Like, I don't know that person.
Yeah.
But you know what? You got to say, even when I was under the influence, I still got my own back. Cause when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I wouldn't have done this, but good job. That paid off. But like sometimes when you're taking a risk like that, you don't know what's going to come back. Cause that person could be like, a weird ass bitch. What is this?
Yeah, but that's like a lame. If you like send a nude to somebody that you're talking to and they don't respond with pure fire.
That's kind of a risky move to just jump into before you know whether they like you yet.
Oh, you didn't know whether she
We
liked
haven't
you?
gotten that far. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Okay, wait. So okay.
I went from 0 to 100 in a matter of like one night.
Yeah, you did.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
I needed more context.
And I don't think I would have just went and jumped off the cliff like that if I was like not
On Ambien at 3 a.m. Yeah.
on Ambien. Yeah.
I love that. Where did it go from there?
We ended up dating and
Oh, it really worked out.
yeah, we dated and she said she didn't want anything serious. And I was like, this is perfect. It's going to be like fun and casual. She lived down the street. And then finally, like I ended up kind of like it cycled out of my system.
I see.
Like I got what I needed. We had a great time.
How do you set that up, in the lesbian community? From lesbian to lesbian, you say, listen, lesbian, I want casual mating with you. Or what is it, the words that you say?
I would like casual mating with you. No, honestly, like, I mean, at this point, I'm a grown-ass adult. And when I meet somebody, normally I'm like, what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for a relationship? Are you just figuring it out? Are you having a good time? I'm normally pretty straightforward about it because I want to be able to manage my expectations because I'm fully able to just have a good time with somebody without there being an expectation of it developing into a relationship. If both parties are on the same page about it.
And then do you treat them like your whore if it is casual?
Well, if they want me to. But the thing is, like, we're able to keep it casual and like hang out, go on dates, have a good time without any expectations and it being casual. But the problem that I'm running into is that a lot of women that I've run into tend to not be honest about it. Like, oh, I'm cool with being casual, or they think they want casual and they change their mind and they want to be in a relationship and they don't tell you. So this is exactly what happened with this girl. I started kind of already getting over it. And because I'm like, this is obviously not going to go anywhere. We had a good time.
Yeah.
And how was it though? Like 1 to 10?
It was like a solid 7.1.
Great.
Like when I was looking through my phone, I found a nude of her. It's just her laying on the bed and there's a gold knife and a burrito between her boobs.
That's a good time, girl. Burrito and a knife.
Exactly. And it was like a California burrito from San Diego. So
She knows what she's doing.
you can tell the size of her boobs for scale.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
even better.
So then, unfortunately, she failed to tell me that she started having feelings for me. And
you couldn't tell.
she was just not really good with like communicating her feelings and emotions.
Trauma.
Yeah, for sure.
She got out of like a relationship and whatever. And then she changed her mind, didn't tell me, and decided to surprise me. And so I went to Dinah Shore.
Which is a lesbian. So it's almost like lesbian Disneyland. So
Yeah.
Dinah Shore happens every year in Palm Springs.
Okay.
And it's where, how many lesbians would you say?
I don't know, a lot, but too many at one pool.
Like hundreds.
Hundreds.
Okay.
And it's all in this like area.
Yeah, it's in Palm Springs. It's normally at one of the hotels. They do pool parties and it's like night parties, whatever. It's just basically lesbians from everywhere.
It's a lesbian festival for
Yeah.
a weekend.
Okay.
Basically everybody's a lesbian, so you got your chances are like way up there. And so I was going every year, and it was like the time came up where it was time for me to embark on my next tour at Dinah Shore. So she told my roommate at the time that she was going to surprise me at Dinah and tell me about how she feels. Which is, I'm telling you right now,
Not the place.
if anybody would have like pre-gamed me about this, I would have been like, don't do it. That is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Because like, if you're surprising me at this lesbian event on day 4,
It's lesbian slut fest.
you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna find me in this situation that
Where
you
you
are
want.
hoping to, where I'm like being reciprocal. I'm like, oh my God, like, yay, I'm so glad you're here. And that's exactly what happened. She showed up. She also broke her ankle that weekend somehow.
God.
So she showed up on crutches on Sunday of Dinah Shore to tell me that she was in love with me. And I was literally looking at her like I was just frozen in time.
Were you mid orgy?
No, unfortunately. But I feel like
Not yet.
I feel like maybe then if she saw, she wouldn't have told me that.
Yeah.
Because then I had to like, oh no, I'm sorry. I was actually thinking that we should go our separate ways. So I mean, it's a long trip to do that and then not get the response that you want.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you should be a little bit more forthcoming about your feelings a little bit earlier, because at that point, like in my opinion, we have already like dissipated, you know? Because we weren't really hanging out that much. And I think she probably felt me like kind of
Pulling away, yeah.
Yeah, but then like that's like a last ditch effort, which is, I find it's crazy.
It's desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
which
the
I
word.
found it that even more unattractive.
Yeah.
And she did have a chance. Like if it was a bit, like it would have been just a little bit earlier. Like I was like, all right, we can talk about this. But like she waited till I was already like checked out completely.
Yeah.
God, so if she's watching, I'm just sorry that you lost your chance. I'm just so sorry.
She doesn't do the internet that much, so I'm hoping she does.
Thank God.
But she'll know it's about her.
If the shoe fits.
They'll know.
They'll know.
Amazing. Is there anything that you wish to plug or tell your people?
Check out my art Instagram at Likewildfire LA.
What do you make? I want.
I design and manufacture jewelry for Burning Man, as well as I'm introducing jewelry as part of merch lines of artists and festivals.
So cool.
I love it because it's putting me in touch with music, with like the festival community that I love so much. With Burning Man, I get to, go to all these shows and like experience art and be in correlation with music. It's literally a dream.
I love festivals too. I'm like a
Me
big
too.
festival goer.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Festival queen.
Festival.
And now I actually have a reason to be there where like I am contributing to the community. I'm participating as an artist. And I mean, I want to definitely move on to making large scale art eventually.
Yeah.
Like with music and lighting and et cetera, and hopefully end up at Art Basel one day.
Love. I will see you there.
We will
Fuck
all
yeah.
see you there. Thank you so much. Chihuahua's out.
Chihuahua's out. Thank you.